Live from New York, it's Sunday night.
Live from Koh Phangan, Thailand, it's Monday morning.
Oh,
This
yeah.
isn't quite live though, is it?
By the way, welcome to Walking the Earth podcast. I'm Justin Castle calling in from New York.
And I'm Mike Margulies in Koh Phangan, Thailand. Although today's episode is actually not about Koh Phangan or New York
Or
for
New
that
York,
matter.
yep.
It's about Chiang Mai and Songkran.
Exactly.
And I guess we've alluded to this on some previous episodes. Songkran, for those who may have missed it, is the Thai New Year. And essentially, the way that the New Year is celebrated here in Thailand in mid-April is with a massive water fight.
Yes. You can check it out on Wikipedia like I have. There's photos. There's everything. How many days is it exactly, Michael? I've heard conflicting things. Is it 3 days? Or is it 7 days? Or how do the locals visualize it?
So actually, officially, I believe it's 3 days long, although in Chiang Mai, which is the big place where it's celebrated, it actually lasts a little bit longer. I guess people get antsy beforehand, so they start water fighting before the official day starts. But what I tried to do is to capture different people's experiences during the event. So during Songkran itself, I recorded audio from the guest house where I was staying with fellow Kim that I met there. And so we'll play some of those clips where you can basically hear the pandemonium in the background.
It is
people,
pure
all the
chaos. It is chaos in the background.
Yeah. And we're kind of giving our own little commentary and stories around that.
Yeah.
And then after the event itself was over, it was a week or so later, I got stuck in Chiang Mai for some amount of time. And I met a really cool group of people while I was in Chiang Mai. So two friends from France, a friend from Germany,
Right.
A girl from Chiang Mai who now lives in China, a Chinese girl, all of these beautiful friends that I made. It was like we had a little family in Chiang Mai.
Yeah.
So this international group of travelers and
I think
basically
you think you guys were. It sounds like you were talking over dinner. Is that correct?
we went to the lake. There's a lake outside of the main area of Chiang Mai where we were hanging out. We had I don't know what meal you call it, something between lunch and dinner. But we were basically just hanging out at this lake, and I pulled out my phone and kind of asked the different folks to give their stories and perspectives. And so the clips that we're going to play are sort of some of it's from the event itself when I was with Kim at the guest house and just pandemonium going on. And some of it is stories at the lake with this family I made in Chiang Mai. And each of us are kind of giving our flavors and stories.
Right.
So sometimes it's fights, water fight stories.
Reenactments,
Talk a little bit about,
pretty much from the battlefield.
Yeah.
I think you'll get a really good picture of it. And the one guy, Felix, does a really I don't know if he does this consciously. He does like a semi Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah, get to the chopper now. Yeah, get down now. Dylan, no, Dylan. No,
yeah, we get all the different perspectives, and and we talk a little bit about where did the tradition originally come from, and there is some dark side to Songkran as well. There's a fun and games, and it's great, but there's also some darker elements which we touch on a bit.
Exactly.
But yeah, the clips are there. In their raw form, take them for what they are.
Right.
We didn't independently verify the statistics that people cite or anything.
Yes, go look them up if you're really interested in. We can't. Don't quote us on this. These are people's opinions.
But yeah, I guess please enjoy these various clips from the Songkran New Year Festival in Chiang Mai, Thailand.
And we'll catch up with you afterwards.
Hello and welcome to Walking the Earth podcast. I'm Mike Margulies, and I'm hanging out today with my buddy Kim. We are in Chiang Mai, Thailand, and it is Songkran. So Kim, what is up, my man?
Thai New Year.
Thai New Year.
So Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year. Sawadi Pi Mai, is that how we say it?
No, Not really, but that was a good approximation.
How would you say it properly?
Happy New Year.
Oh, that's probably better than me trying to fake it in Thai.
Before, a long time ago, the people go to the river. They do it like it's traditional or not. They go into the river and kind of splash.
Or to the temple, like splash, like not splashing even, like just pour water very nicely.
Yeah, the traditional way is you actually let's kind of throw some, gently throw water on somebody.
Yeah, thank you.
And then somehow it became water guns and craziness. When did that happen? When
like by the Thai
came?
or
Right now, there's water actually just pouring down from the rooftops below us.
I know the room. I know who it is.
It feels like walking through a war zone, but with water. Like if
it is a fucking war zone. I'm sorry for swearing.
Oh, you can swear. It's cool.
What is nice sometimes, what I really like, is that the people gather together randomly in groups and then you have this kind of street fights, and you have one group on the one side and one group on the other, and you can always see like they're loading up, and then they're going to the other side, like as the whole group, like, and then like the other group is fighting back, so you always have like this, like you can see like. Let's go. Okay. No, let's pump up the water. Like, let's pump up the guns, and then they run over to the other place and just overtake like the whole place. And the other place has no chance at all. And last year was really good fun there.
So my favorite moment from Songkran this year was, like every day I tried to escalate it a little bit, go a little bit more crazy than the day before. So I don't know if I told you guys about this story already, but by day 2 or 3 of it, I would climb on top of the top head gate with like my water gun, and I was just like shooting the people below, or I would like jump inside of tuk-tuks, like the truck kind that had like multiple seats. The people that thought they were safe and dry, I'd jump into the back of the tuk-tuk and like spray everybody down. I just kept trying to get more creative with it. But I also remember Songkran was like, the strategy changed depending on what time of day it was. Because if it was like early in the day, my objective is just get as many people wet as possible. But then once the clouds came out and it was overcast and cold, and then everyone has ice water, freezing, then I just wanted to like get back home as dry as, like take the back alleys, the mission changed to like get home safe and dry.
Okay, for Songkran, I was in a guest house with the north gate, and I was walking and fight with every people in the street. It was crazy, so a lot of water came to me, and so I have to fight everybody. And one time I have to put some water in my guns, so I went near to the river and put some water, get some water. And one Thai people just fight with me with a bucket, like this, and he was starting flow to me all this water. So I stole one bucket and I start to fight with him like this, and all his friends came against me, So I was really, wow, this shit, what happened to me? And one moment I receive a bucket of water in my face, with my sunglasses, just threw into the water, into the river. Said, fuck, no, my sunglasses, no, it's not possible, I can't lose my sunglasses, it's too important, And these Thai people were feeling really bad for that, so they just jump in the water, this dirty water, and they try to look after, they search, and they just find it. I said, oh my God, you're so kind, thank you very much. I was feeling so bad for that.
You should be happy you found it.
Yeah. I didn't believe it, What? You found it in this dirty water? Not possible, but he did.
Deep water?
Yeah, you always have to make alliances. I remember at one point, we had this whole alliance in front of one of the guest houses, and every time somebody would walk in front, we would just try to spray, especially dry people.
Best victims ever.
Give them experience.
Yeah, the dry people's like, oh, we would shout out, dry person! And we'd all just like attack them. That was the most rewarding, because someone's already wet. You're like, whatever, they're already wet, but someone who's dry, you get them
the
wet.
virgins.
Yeah, exactly.
Get them wet.
Yeah.
This is the big basement
There is.
scene.
Can you hear? There's chaos going on around us. By the way, you can
Yeah.
hear all the. I love the ambient noises of people throwing water on each other. Sorry, go ahead, man.
And falling off motorbikes.
Yeah.
So last year I think they had like 700. No, the year before over 700 people died. Last year.
From cold water?
In
Thailand?
No, and I think it was only in Chiang Mai.
700
People. Yeah, during Songkran. Yeah, because some people jump drunk in the mold. Some people have accidents. Some people have a lot of
People
things
throw buckets of water on the motorbikes.
Yeah.
You know, someone's driving like boom.
So I think to take it a bit more down, they just like reduce a bit, and they use even less ice. You could see less water, less ice. Last year on Taipei was crazy, man. On Taipei
There was more water and ice last year.
Yes. Yeah, man.
That's hard to imagine.
You could even at Taipei, you had like big barrels full of water, and you could always stand there. And now this year, the people were covering it, or you even had to pay money for water sometimes. So it changes a bit.
Highest level of accident on the road anywhere in the world during Songkran in Chiang Mai.
Yeah, I mean, I believe it because you look at what's going on in this. It is chaos. Actually, I'm probably like one of the antagonists of it. I was doing stupid shit yesterday. I would just like jump.
You were drunk?
Probably a little. I had a couple beers, but I was like, I was just. It wasn't so much that I was drunk. It was more so that I was buzzing from this event. You know, I would jump into the back of a tuk-tuk, this truck kind of tuk-tuks with it, and I would just get inside of it and just squirt everyone who thought they were safe and dry. I was just making a point of making, you're right,
Yeah, see, that sounds quite cute. But what kind of squirty gun did you have?
Oh, I had changed, man. I was changing it up. I've had 3 different types of water weapons during this week. I keep upgrading my weapons. It's like a video game or something.
You should be downgrading your fucking weapons.
Get like a sidearm.
Because the real thing is a little bucket of water, and you put your fingers in there and you spray water in the face of a person as a blessing for New Year. You motherfucking stupid Westerner.
I'm sorry, forgive me. I'm a dumb American.
Yes, you fucking are.
But, well...
Because last Songkran, someone shot me in the fucking eye.
Oh, I hate that. That happened to me also, you say it.
From this far.
Yeah. Well, when they have the high-pressure guns and they shoot you in the eyeball,
No, it's
just
all
kind
right.
of like,
It's okay, because he was very, very drunk, very, very falang.
Yeah.
You need to translate that.
Oh,
I
that's
guess.
farang is like, how do you say farang?
Falang, fucking Westerner.
Yeah, it's like fucking, it's like gringo sort of, right?
Yeah.
It's like
fucking Westerner.
Yeah, farang. But you got upgraded from farang.
Oh, I did. Yes, I'm a galang.
Galang, and that's
Galang.
like halfway in between being a foreigner. So you're halfway to being a local, I think.
No,
No.
I will never be a Thai.
Never be.
And I
Even
do
after
not,
a couple
no,
of
and I
however
do not
many
want
years.
to be.
Right.
I am a Russian-born Jew and a Londoner.
So, from like perspective of a Thai person, I think like.
Usually a lot of Thai people don't even really celebrate Songkran.
Yeah, that's why what I want to
don't
talk
like
about. Because in Thailand, a lot of time we say Songkran is a little bit dangerous. Like you go out, especially if you are girls, and then the guys will come like touch your face like with the powder thing, and then so it's banned actually. Like the powder is banned, like because it's the what is it, like the excuse that they will come and touch you actually. And also like if you wear like lace, it doesn't matter, like if they want to touch you, sometimes they will touch your boobs and stuff. Really? But like this like what the Thai people say, like just you know, like
Are Thai people doing this or the farang doing this?
Thai men.
Really?
Yeah, Thai men usually. But this year I went out and nothing happened. I like one day I wore like really small, you know, like really like open everywhere and no problem actually. I was ready to hit whoever, but yeah, it was nice. It didn't happen. And also like I like the foam party made from the washing detergent. It's
I filled my gun with that
insane.
at one point.
yeah. It's like you go inside and like in some point you are buried in the foam and you're like, oh shit, I have to get out. Otherwise I will maybe die here inside. And yeah, like the cold water is a strategy. Like if you have ice cold water, you are winning.
To the hot spots.
Yeah, you already win. And then like later you get like the room temperature or normal water, and then you're like, oh, so nice.
Yeah, exactly.
Shower after.
Yeah, hot shower after that is like the end. Yeah, perfect
That was
end.
the worst. I would have like when I had warm water and other people had cold water. I just felt like, oh no, I'm losing right now.
Yeah.
But at the end, at some point, I got into one of the trucks with a Thai family, and I was like helping them get the moat water and everything. And we had an ice block. We were supposed to put more ice. So now I had ice water, and now I was winning. Like
Yeah.
You feel stronger if you have ice cold water.
Yeah, you have more power.
Yeah.
I had no idea though that it's really like, so if you're a Thai female by yourself, you're vulnerable.
It's just like the warning, like be careful, this can happen and stuff. Yeah. So that's why like some like Thai girls, they don't want to come out and play actually, and also they don't want to get tan. That's another
When
reason.
was the last time that you celebrate? 10 years ago or what? 15?
Really long time ago, like 15. I was 15, but that time I got like this powerful tube like right into my eyeball. So after that I stopped for a long while. I thought I would
people
get
with the high power guns that shoot you in the eyeball.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
Thai too, that time because it was not banned. But this year the tube we had is like short tube, so it's still okay. But before they had like long one and the blue one, the PVC pipe, and then you just it's too powerful. Yeah.
I don't go to.
There is pandemonium going on out there right now. I'm almost wanting to get back out into the water fight. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you do not.
No.
This is the last day of Songkran.
Yeah.
And this is where you're going to get shot in the eye from this far with a high-powered water pistol.
Oh, I just got to upgrade my protection. Maybe I'll wear some goggles today. And
That's clever.
Yeah.
But don't. Go later. Later today.
See, the thing is, I found later in the day, it gets overcast and like it's rainy and like, so when it's hot, in the early afternoon, it's hot and I don't care how wet I am, but later on it gets so cold and then people are shooting. The Thais are like, they have it down because they have the ice water, right?
Yeah.
And they're just like,
and do you know
oh
what?
my God, they just.
No, do you know why?
Why?
Because you're supposed to sprinkle cold water.
Is that like the actual? Yesterday, actually, it was so much fun. At some point, I ended up in the bed of a truck with like a Thai family. So I was like helping them out. Like we took the bucket, throwing it into the moat to grab water, dumping the ice in, and we were just going around. It was great.
You took water from the fucking moat?
I took water from the moat. Yeah.
I swam in the moat. Okay, so I am an expert when I tell you, idiot. But only it's a joke. It's a joke, joke. I'm gonna joke. I'm joking.
No, you're cool, man. It's dirty. I know.
It's actually not.
No.
Have you not seen? There's loads of fish.
Yeah.
In the moat. There's a hell of a lot of fish. And what they do is they move them from one to the next block.
Oh man.
And then they clean the water. And then they move them back.
They move the fish for Songkran.
Yeah.
And then move them back.
They
No way.
move all the fish out to one particular area of the moat,
Yeah.
which is protected by traffic police, who are basically baby police,
Right.
and thus known as bullshit police, because they're not even allowed guns.
Oh really? I also wondering this. Is it okay to shoot the police officers with water guns? Is that like acceptable, or is that like generally frowned upon?
I would advise you
Tread
not
lightly.
to do that.
Right. I didn't.
I would very strongly
Yeah.
advise you not.
It's funny because as much
to do
stupid stuff I was doing, I was like, oh, this is one line I'm not going to cross right now.
that. If you're in a truck, do it.
Oh, it's drive-by.
But if
Drive-by water squirting.
An AK motherfucker is a
Right.
tool. Just don't be a motherfucking fool. NWA.
Yeah. I know NWA. So I know NWA, Dr. Dre. Yeah. So I know.
Ice Cube.
Ice Cube.
Straight out of Compton.
Yeah.
Crazy motherfucker called Ice Cube. From a niggas called Goldie. Ignorant you.
And the party was great, no, at night. So many people.
Which party?
Like
Oh,
everywhere.
the first night.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just everywhere. Like people go out at night.
Yeah, I didn't realize how crazy of a party Songkran is. I knew about the water fight, but I didn't realize it was
for
like
me, I thought
partying
it was like
every
usually
night.
like this. I was happy at the beginning.
I met a guy who landed in Thailand on Songkran, and he had no idea. He just landed in like Chiang Mai airport, and he's walking around, then he gets sprayed, and he was just kind of like, wait, what is going on here? Is this just what Thailand is like? And then we had to explain to him, no, this is Songkran, man. Get yourself a water gun.
Yeah, it's good. I had local friends. Otherwise, I had no clue.
All right, and we're back. Hope you guys enjoyed the compilation of stories from Songkran. Michael, I really enjoyed the perspectives of Kim. He's very colorful guy. He has great descriptions.
Colorful character.
Yeah. He definitely talks about one of my favorite things is he kind of goes off on you a little bit about you stupid fucking Westerner. And to me, I'm really curious, is that how people view Westerners in Thailand, or is it just like him expressing like a just a sentiment that he feels? What is that I just want to know if it's common out there.
Right. I think like many things in life, it's true and not true at the same time. So for sure, I think we had a couple clips that touch on this where from what I've gathered, and I'm by no means an expert, right? But from what I've gathered, talking to different folks, the tradition is that you have a bucket of water and you kind of sprinkle it on somebody, and the idea is you wash away their sins.
Right.
And you still actually, during Songkran, even in crazy Chiang Mai, you still see people doing a little bit of that. You'll see people with little buckets and they're sprinkling. And so that, I believe, is the culture. And over time, it's become this, like all the stories you heard, right? There's water guns and craziness.
Right.
And yeah, I was one of the crazy people going on it. But you also see Thai people participating in it as well, right?
Right, yeah.
So I think there are probably some Thai people that feel, too many farang here,
right,
overtaking what was our little holiday, just sprinkling some water. But there are also some Thai people that are really into what it has become. And for sure, there is that sense sometimes of, oh man, we're ruining what this tradition was. It used to be this thing and it's been bastardized.
Right,
but
yeah.
My personal perspective is change is the nature of the universe.
Right.
Right? Like the only constant is change. So yeah, for sure. I think Songkran has changed from what it maybe once was.
Right.
But I don't know that it's necessarily a good or a bad thing. It's just different. So it's in some ways it's we lost some of what you maybe used to have, but in some ways maybe it's more beautiful. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. For me, I thought it was really cool that it didn't matter if you were a foreigner or if you were Thai or if you were a kid or if you were old. Everyone got it. Everyone knows the game. It's
right.
Water fight,
One of the
that was the beautiful thing to me.
Yeah, one of the things that I noticed, just looking it up online, is that it seems like it's a family thing, like how everybody participates in 4th of July and everybody does sparklers, and everybody does that simultaneously. Like that's families participate in it. You've got little kids and you've got adults and fireworks and the whole 9 yards. Like that. That's the perception that I feel, is that it seems like it's a big family event, not only just all these Westerners, this farang, however, I'm not pronouncing it properly, but
yeah, I'm probably pronouncing it wrong also.
Not these stupid Westerners coming in and making it something westernized, but it still appears to me, and you can comment on this. It appears to me that yes, it's still very much a local thing, even though it's become a 21st or 22nd, I guess, century thing.
Yeah, I did feel like that. As you would see family. I mean, you heard the story I told where I was hanging out with a Thai family, and we had this ice block and everything, and it wasn't just foreigners overtaking a Thai tradition thing. I mean, there was some, of course, that you can't. I'm not going to deny there was an element of that, right? There is, as a Westerner in a country in Southeast Asia, there is that element that comes up a lot. Actually, I don't know what you'd call it, Western guilt, right?
Right.
There is, you can see it everywhere where there's Western influence on local cultures, and there is a tendency to react negatively to that, and there is a negative element to it for sure. I'm not going to deny that there's isn't something that feels weird about the influence that seems maybe too much sometimes, right? That Westerners have on the cultures here, but it's not all bad. There's also, it's just, I think sometimes maybe there's just change that happens, and change is good, change is bad, change is change.
Yeah. Change gonna come. Change gonna come.
Yeah.
And
so it's really all those things. There is that, Westerners, that Western guilt thing you can feel, right?
Yeah.
Too much of that, it's lost its tradition, but in a different way, it's also beautiful, and there's also locals participating, and it's still a beautiful thing. I think it's a great event personally.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of fun. It really does.
Yeah.
I also want to know, like, my question is escaping me, but I wanted to know, what for our listeners' sake, what is the moat? Or you said there's a moat.
Yeah.
Can you describe that just so everybody has context?
Sure. Yeah, man. So in Chiang Mai, there's a kind of literally a square-shaped area of the city. That's the old city, and it's surrounded by a literal moat. And so, it's just like, a square body of water. Just kind of think of like an ancient castle with a moat around it, right?
Right.
But it's like kind of a square. The old city itself is surrounded by this moat. And so, that's where a lot of the water that's being squirted in your eyeball is coming from, actually.
Which everybody, I guess that's the most afflicting thing, because Kim got really angry. Like, it's an afflicting memory of his that, somebody shot me in the fucking eye. And like,
right.
And then also the I forgot her name. The local Jan. Actually, she as well had the same experience at a young age and said, I hadn't participated in 10 years or something like that.
Right.
And she felt the same way.
Yeah, I mean, that was the part there is, I think, a risk of, say, eye infections because you have just moat water being squirted in your eye. So That's one of the dangers of Songkran, in addition to kind of like the car accident thing that we touched on and that kind of stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
And
so it's.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Well,
it's just coming back to the same theme, I think, right? Of there's a lot of fun and there's also some dark elements. It's just these are all true about Songkran.
Right, and the stats on the deaths, don't believe. Felix mentioned something like 700 deaths. If you look up online, it's not necessarily that high. I don't have the exact stats in front of me, but it's several hundred deaths per Songkran. It's maybe like between 300 and 400, I think somebody said online. But there are, I believe 2014 had over 3,000 reported injuries as well. I think that was
I believe it.
That was a big thing with motorbike injuries being like a large percentage of it. Another percentage was people in trucks or tuk-tuks, as you mentioned, getting into accidents. I don't know if people are drinking and driving, which is not good.
Oh, definitely. For sure that's happening.
Yeah, don't do that.
It's not bad. Smart. I mean, they're all happening. You've got the entire city is a water fight, and people are driving, and people are drinking, and people are partying, and so and people are throwing buckets of water on people driving motorbikes. Knock them over.
That's bad. That is bad. Another thing I wanted to ask, which our guest Brooke Silva Braga mentioned in a previous episode, he had been to Songkran with his mom actually, and one of his feelings was that the Westerners are coming. He felt like it was a little bit played out, and we can actually play that clip.
I hope, because this will be 4 years after I went in 2010, I hope it's not played out. Because in 2010, it was just on the edge of getting played out, and it was like a whole lot of foreigners and not that many Thai people doing it.
Interesting. I hope I sure hope there's locals that are doing it. That's, it's a big part of the experience, obviously. But yeah, that you mentioned it is because Chiang Mai is the place that people know about for Songkran. I guess there is some possibility that it's going to be a whole bunch of tourists there. Well, it'll be a fun experience, I suppose.
It will be for sure.
So basically, he's saying, do you feel that Songkran's played out a little bit, or that's the perception that others expressed?
It's hard for me to say. I've only seen it 1 year, so I don't have like a benchmark to compare it against. Like, what was it like 10 years ago?
Right.
And I think, to some extent, this goes back to the same things we were talking about earlier, where has it diverged from the tradition of the little sprinkling water out of a bucket versus now it's a bunch of, there's Westerners around, there's water, guns, crazy stuff happening. So, at what point do you say it tipped over the edge and now it's played out? Who's to say? And it is sort of, whatever it is what it is at this point,
Yeah.
I
gotcha.
Yeah.
Just thought I'd get your perspective, but
yeah,
no worries. I think that it sounds overall everybody said it sounds like a great time. It sounds like there's a lot of partying and good times to be had by all. And for those who are looking to travel there for the upcoming Songkran, 2015 and onward, any recommendations for them?
Go.
Get there.
Songkran, okay, if I were to summarize it, I'll just say it's my favorite holiday of all time, even better than Halloween.
I know how much you like Halloween,
I just
so
think
that's saying a lot.
It's a fun time. And, is there an element of it being played out? Is there an element of, it's lost the tradition? I don't know. Yes, no, but all that's true or not. But if you go into this event and you just experience it for what it is today now, it had to have been one of the most fun times I've ever had in my life. Being in an environment where an entire city is playing a game together for 3+ days, that's, I think, whatever you want to call it, it's a beautiful thing that this exists in the world.
Yeah.
So my recommendation is go to Songkran, see it for yourself, make your judgment, have a fun time, and love it.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, thanks for listening to our Stories from Songkran episode, special edition of Walking the Earth podcast. Mike, I'm actually going to leave this episode with when you were talking to Kim, he's actually a poet, he's a writer and a musician, and he has an excellent phrase. I thought it was a great little poem that he said at the end of your conversation with him.
Right.
And,
yeah.
I think this week we got to leave it with Kim. I think Kim has the last word. So
sure, sounds good.
So let's leave it with that. In the meantime, again, listen to us on Facebook.com/Walking the Earth podcast. Listen, find us on Twitter, #WTE podcast. Find us on Stitcher, iTunes, and SoundCloud.
And we have a website now, WTEpodcast.com. Still certainly working on it. And actually, if you have thoughts on the site itself, please shoot us an email, WTEpodcast@gmail.com. But check it out.
Very cool. Let's take a listen, and I'll let Mr. Kim leave it. This is one of Kim's poems. Here we go.
There's always a reason. Sometimes it's a good one. That's one of my poems. That's all it is.
I like that.
That's it.
There's always a reason. Sometimes it's a good one. All right.
That is the
poem.
That is the fun.
Nice. I like that.
So there's always a reason, Michael, and sometimes it's a good one.
Sometimes it's a good one.
All right. Well, for Walking the Earth podcast, I'm Justin Castle, signing out from New York.
And I'm Mike Margulies, signing off from Koh Phangan, Thailand.
Yes, and we'll talk to you next time. Thank you for listening.